Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to have a conversation with the amazing Stephen Amell. Stephen has been in so many things, including starring as Oliver Queen in Arrow and Jack Spade in Heels. Stephen also starred in the Code 8 movies and will be playing the title role in the upcoming Suits spinoff, Suits LA. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to be talking with you again.
It's nice to be talking with you again too, Maya. I missed you.
I missed you. um, so my first question for you is who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
Oh boy, the biggest impact professionally. Oh man. That's a great question. Um, I can't single out any one person. So I'm just going to go a little more and just use a little recency bias here. I would say that Michael Malley, he was the showrunner on season 1 of Heels and season 2 of Heels. He also wrote most of season 2. And Mike was an actor first and foremost before he was a writer. And he's just had some really good advice for me as I sort of navigate this post Arrow world where I can be a little bit more selective with the projects that I do. And I find myself, at a different age and a different spot in the business. And he's had some really good advice for me. He's also written some of the most beautiful speeches that I've ever gotten a chance to say. So I would say Michael Malley.
Cool. I love that. Who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
Probably, well, that's a that's a great question, actually, because for a while there, I would have said my mom, and then for a while there, I would have said my wife would have kind of overtaken her. But now I think that the person that's had the most impact on me as a person is my daughter, just because she just really does the most to inform the kind of person that I want to be. And, her schedule and her priorities are now my schedule and my priorities. So I just think that on a daily basis, I mean, even getting back to this morning, it's a holiday weekend. She doesn't have any school. But nonetheless, she's really into swimming. She wanted to get up and practice this morning. So if she wasn't around, I probably would have slept in till 8:15, 8:30, something like that. But at 6:15, I got a little tap on the shoulder. Dad, dad. It's time to get up. So I would say probably her. Probably her.
Oh, I love that. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are the most proud of?
Um, I think, sure, yes. Um, I'm always proud of my newest job. All right. So let's kind of throw Suits LA out for a second. I think that, uh, it's been it's been a little over 4 years since the last episode of Arrow went off the air. We're coming up on 5 years since we shot the last episode of Arrow. And having a little bit of space from that, I've really got a chance to discover the type of impact that had on people's lives, both people that, discovered the show, viewed the show, because it's 170 episodes. So you think about the amount of content that someone, if they just sort of discover it at random on Netflix, or, chatting with people that grew up watching it, or moms and dads that grew up watching it with their sons and daughters. Uh, and and I think almost most importantly is the impact that it had on a lot of people that worked on the show, that had this professional advancement, or had something that they could really rely on for the better part of a decade. If I had a nickel for every time I've had a crew member come up to me and very earnestly say, you paid my mortgage basically on my house. Now it's not as simple as that. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
Part of it was them, obviously, but for someone to come up and say something like that and mean it is really special,
Yeah.
really special. So I'm
Yeah.
most proud. I'm most proud of the impact that Arrow had on a lot of lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know I've told you this before, but that was the show I watched all throughout radiation when I went through that
Yep.
a couple years ago. And so that
Yep.
really was like it's a huge comfort show for me because it's just like it helped me
Yeah.
through that thing.
And I hear that all the time, and that's great. I can see my autograph over your right
Yes.
shoulder right now. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Roll right next to Taylor Swift. I'll
Yeah.
take it. That's good. I like it. Awesome.
um so what is the biggest obstacle you have overcome?
Um, I'd say, just professionally speaking, I would say really trying to learn how to block out the noise and really focus on just what I'm doing and the work that's in front of me. Because when you're when you're a public person on a public platform, um, a lot of people are going to have opinions. The negative ones tend to be the loudest, and they tend to be the ones that, if you go into the comment section on an Instagram post or a Facebook post, any social media post, quite frankly, there could be 1,000 comments, and there could be 997 that are incredibly positive. But you'd be amazed how those three negative ones, even if they're just stupidly negative, you'd be amazed how those have almost this innate ability to bubble up, and they're the thing that catches your eye. So I
Yeah.
think that that's something that everyone that becomes, again, sort of a public persona, that's something that everyone has to deal with, um, and get used to and adjust to. So I think that coming to grips with that and being cool with it, um, that was a big one to overcome. And now that I have, I'm much happier and more at ease.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know I'm still working on that kind of because I'll have like
Sure.
an interview that I it goes in phases that get like sometimes people will just be writing some things that are like not supportive and not very nice, pointing things out that I just like
Well, you
struggle
have,
with.
yeah, but you
Yeah,
have to remember that that the majority of people that write these negative comments, okay,
yeah,
they've never done anything. And I don't mean like I don't mean like basic stuff like tied their shoes. I mean like they've never been brave enough to reach out to people, to interview them, to figure out questions, to figure out where you want the interview to go, to because I bet the first time that you interviewed someone, I bet you thought that you did a horrible job. And I
Yes.
bet, yeah, and I bet that over time, right, you've
Yeah.
gotten better, but you have to have the ability after that first interview where you were like, oh my God, this went so bad. You
Yeah.
you have to have the ability to like get back on the horse, as they
Yeah.
say. And people that write negative stuff, they've never gotten on the horse in the first place, let alone fallen off and gotten
Yeah.
back on.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to really bug me, and now it's just I see one and just move on with my day.
Thank you. Next.
Yes. Yeah. Um, so if you had a reality TV show about your life, what would your theme song be?
What would the theme song be?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know what the theme song would be, but I would have Blake Neely write it. Blake Neely's the guy that wrote all of the score music for the Arrowverse. So I'd have him have him write something that was like, I think, inspirational but lighthearted. Can you picture something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like
Good
that.
question. I've never been asked that question before.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's always my goal to ask people things they've never heard.
Yeah, because I think
Yes.
again, now that I think about it, I think Blake would be great for something like that, because it's not like anyone tells him what to do, right? Like
Yeah.
the first time that Blake would have been sitting down and watching the pilot of Arrow, he's just probably sitting there, and then he sees something happens, and it sees something happen, and he goes dun 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 dun, and it's like all of a sudden he would just come up with something. So I describe my life to him and then just leave him alone.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what is something that people are always surprised to learn about you?
They're surprised to learn how tall I am.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. I'm 6'1". It just so happens that, there's a reputation for actors in Hollywood. You can call it like it's the Tom Cruise corollary, where everyone thinks that we're really short. And so they think that when I was on Arrow, especially, we had Colin Salmon and Paul Blackthorne and David Ramsey, and all those guys are like 6'4", which in Hollywood might as well be 6'9".
Mm.
So I'm 6'1", but I look 5'8" compared to these guys. So I'll meet people all the time. They say to me all the time, "You're so much taller than I thought you were going to be." It's like, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Also, too, I think people sometimes are surprised to find out that I'm Canadian. Uh, Oh, and just in general, if there's someone that's really kind of only ever watched Arrow and they meet me, I'm a much more fun-loving, easygoing guy than Oliver Queen or Jack Spade, or frankly, quite possibly Ted Black. So, yeah, that surprises them in a good way, though.
Yeah.
It's all good things. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're way meaner than I thought you would be, or anything like that. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what in your life brings you the most joy?
Family time. Yeah, time with my family. And I would say that, you know, it's the little things, like my wife and I got to take our daughter to the Olympics this year. So we got to see some tennis, but she got to meet a couple uh of of US Olympians that she really admired, retired US Olympians that she really admired. And then we got to take her to the last night of swimming, and she's really into swimming. And so the day was cool, overall. But the when I am most happiest is when we got back to the hotel that night and I set her up in like her bed and gave her a book. And then she's old enough now that we can leave her alone in the hotel room. And then we went down to to just to grab a quick bite to eat and have a drink with a friend of ours that was in Paris. And I promised her, I said, listen, I'll be up to check on you in 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, when I came up to check on her, she was fast asleep because she had had such a cool day. And I just think that those kind of moments as a parent are what make me happiest. When I know that my daughter is fast asleep, having a good dream because she just had a totally kick-ass day.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So when you have a day off, what would your perfect day look like?
Okay, well, I would like to I would like to be up early and like I like taking my kiddo to school in the morning. And then you said a day off?
Yes.
Okay, day off. All right. And then I would come back. I would hang out with my son for a little bit. I'd go down to the gym. I'd get a workout, and then I'd come back. I'd have a quick nap. Okay, this is naps are key. And
Yeah.
then when my son got up from his nap and my daughter got home from school, we'd go to like some fun afternoon activity like an amusement park or a water park or a baseball game, just something where we could be out in public, like in a really cool spot. And then and my wife would be there too, obviously. And then I'd bring them home, uh, set them up for dinner, leave them with a babysitter, and my wife and I would go out for a nice dinner
Oh,
and maybe like go see a concert or something like that. That'd be a full day. I don't know if I could do the
yeah.
concert. Maybe just dinner. Maybe just
Yeah.
dinner.
Oh,
In bed
I
by in bed by 10.
love that. Yeah, I love that. That sounds like a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed, as you probably know.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching.
Okay.
Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
I really liked Presumed Innocent on Apple TV Plus. I
Yeah.
thought that was really good. I watch House of the Dragon as it airs for sure, or as it aired. I love any of that Game of Thrones stuff. And then honestly, not really. Um I tend to wait for things to like a season to complete and then I'll sit down and watch it. Although I have worked my way through almost 5 seasons of Suits now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of Suits a few months ago, or like almost a year ago, I think, and I
Okay.
just binged watched it all.
Yeah.
Um
My mom just spoiled the ending for me because I
oh
said that I was going to go meet the writers for Suits LA on Monday. And she goes, I can't believe that blank da, blah, 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 died. And I was like, Mom. And she's like, oh my God, have you not seen all of it? I go, no, I haven't. So, but I
yeah.
got to tell the writers and they thought it was really funny that she spoiled
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, I accidentally there it was a few years ago there was a movie that came out that I watched with like my mom and I watched and my sister was seeing
Mhm.
later, and I didn't spoil the ending for her, but I accidentally spoiled that there were two actors that I was watching the movie for, and within like the first 10 minutes they both died.
Oh
And
no.
I accidentally spoiled that for her.
You know,
I was,
we hear this all the time because I think uh in the pilot of Arrow we make a joke about Lost, that series, about the ending of it, and people got mad. People were like, "Is that true? I was gonna watch that. Did you spoil that?" I didn't say the line. It's not. I don't write the show. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I just finished rewatching the show Royal Pains.
Oh, is
Um,
it good?
it's so good. It's one of my
Cool.
all-time favorite shows and one of my
Cool.
families. So we every few years we do like a full
That's
rewatch of
great.
the
I like
show.
that.
So
Hey, listen, rewatches are really fun. They're kind of like
yeah.
I do rewatches all the time. What do I rewatch? I rewatched The Crown just because it's, I know obviously what happens all the way through it, but it's so quiet and pretty that I can fall asleep. Like I can nap. I like
Oh,
having something on when I take a nap.
hmm. Yeah. I like having something on in the background, usually all
I
the
agree.
time. I don't like silence, so
Yeah, I hear you. Silence is way too loud.
yeah. Yeah. So if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
uh, do not shake before opening. It's a good question. I've never been asked that question either.
Thank
What would yours say?
you. I I think I'd need two that I think I'd need one that says like prone to anxiety, don't
Sure.
overload. And then another one that says will obsessively talk about pop culture.
Fair enough. I mean, listen, those are, I, I don't think I don't think you need to warn people about the second one, but maybe the first
Yeah.
one, the prone to anxiety. That's not a lot different than do not shake before opening.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
I hope it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
Let's go with rom-com. That and
Yeah.
hope like theoretically I would have gotten my happy ending like years ago. That's
Yeah.
fine though. We can make a sequel. You can
Yeah.
always do a sequel to a rom-com if it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I want my life to be a rom-com.
There you go. Good.
Yeah. Um, so what motivates you on days you aren't really feeling it?
I think, professionally, I think that that you know a lot of people rely on me. I'm just a cog in the proverbial wheel, but I'm an important cog. And a lot of people depend on me by way of putting trust in me. So, I have to remember that, when I'm working, or frankly, this could translate to your family life, to your personal life as well, that it's not just about me. It's about a whole host of people. So, just if you're not feeling, your best, then remember it's not just about you.
I love that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I just have one more question for
Okay.
you. I love inspiring and motivational quotes, and this week the quotation that spoke to me is by
Mm-hmm.
Machine Gun Kelly. And
Okay.
it says, "Don't ever look down, be comfortable with who you are. Our flaws are what make us perfect."
Mm-hmm.
Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Well, I don't know if it's an original quote from him, but Kevin Hart, when he hosted the Tom Brady roast, kept saying, "It's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable." And I think that more people could spend a little bit more time trying to get comfortable being uncomfortable as opposed to just immediately complaining the second that they become uncomfortable. Not everything in life is good. Like not everything in life is going to be comfortable. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to willingly put yourself in situations that you know you're going to dislike, but not everything is going to work out the exact way that you want it to, in the time frame that you want it to, in the way that you want it to, around the people that you want it to. Sometimes it will. Most of the time, it's not going to come out exactly the way that you want it, and it's how you deal with those little bumps in the road that really separate people that are eventually going to accomplish something great with someone that just, if the situation isn't perfect, aren't going to get what they want.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I
Thank you.
love that one. Um, well, it was so much fun talking with you again.
Good to
Thank
talk
you
with
so
you.
much for joining me. I've had the best time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, we have to. So now that we've done this twice, you know what that means. It means it's tradition.
Sorry, what?
It just means it's tradition. It
Oh,
means that we're gonna have
yes,
to. It means that we'll have to do it again sometime down
yes,
the road.
yes, definitely. I would love
Especially
that.
now, especially now that you've got this cool setup. You got Maya's World in the
Yeah.
back. You got the live on air.
Yeah.
It's all good. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my like shrine of
I love
Hollywood
it.
stuff.
It's
So
wonderful.
thank you. Um, yeah, thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.